Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Spark of Genius Flesh and Blood production. Format's a little bit different for this video. As you can see, there's no face cams. We're directly in TTS and joined by the newly minted runner-up to the Minneapolis Calling. Welcome, Nghia. On Zen, by the way. Welcome back to the
Hello.
channel. It's been a while.
Thank you.
It's been like 2 weeks.
Real long
so
time.
yeah, so the last video we made with Nghia, Spark of Genius made with Nghia, was a really accurate tier list. And here we all said on the tier list that Zen was best deck, and it's been about 2 weeks through national season and Zen is best deck. So I don't think anyone's really surprised by that. But what there hasn't been a lot of is there's deck tags and sideboarding and stuff. And if you want some really detailed guides, you can go check On the Bubble. He has a couple of really, really in-depth good guides if you want to see that for Zen, as she did X3 that same event. So pretty good in her own right. But for this particular thing, we're going to just show some different matchups, some different lines, and like how to play this hero in a variety of scenarios. We're going to give 2 examples for each matchup that we're going to go over. We're going to go through about 5 or 6 matchups. And the idea behind this video is to be able to show you how you might approach different matchups depending on what the game state is, what your hand is, knowing what your goal for is in the matchup. And I don't think there's much content that really goes into this and a sufficient level of visualization. So we're going to do that here at Spark Genius. And we're starting off with Kano. So this is cool because Kano was literally, I think, your semis matchup. I think it was your semis matchup. Anyways, it might not be.
I didn't hit Kano in top 8, but I did hit 2 in Swiss.
You hit 2 in Swiss pretty late in the day 2 also, right? It was like day 2, you hit 1 pretty late. Anyways, point is that you have a pretty good track record into Kano. So we're gonna see kind of what the idea is. So I'll let you take it away on Kano.
Based off of like Evan and Jacob Baugh's list with the needle, they were presenting this setup equipment wise into Kano AB3 needle with the Mask of the Pouncing Lynx and the Kasaya. I think this setup is by far the best. I quite like it. You have enough blues where AB3 is like actually quite reasonable for you.
Yeah.
And Mask of the Pouncing Lynx helps you get to a lot of like your big combo pieces without having to spend resources. And the best thing you can do into Kano is like hit them as hard as possible without expending resources.
Sure. Yeah, Zen is definitely much heavier on the blues just because of the transcends as like a regular aggro deck goes. Definitely a lot heavier on those resources. So you're able to actually have a pretty good Kano matchup compared to a lot of those red line aggressive decks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit about the matchup. What's your goal? Yeah, I see these beautiful Marvel Transcend cards obviously in front. I'm going to zoom in here so everyone can see those beautiful cards. Why are these in front of me, and what's the goal against Kano?
My goal in Kano is to get one of these 8 cards into my arsenal as soon as possible. In the Kano matchup, unlike a lot of other matchups, the other matchups you want to transcend as fast as possible so you have access to traverse. But in this matchup, you want to be able to arsenal one as soon as possible so that when they do try to kill you, and there won't be that many turns in the game, you'll be able to get them. Because it's effectively going to give you 4 resources just for arsenaling one.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you play it, it'll transcend. Kasaya will make you a resource, and then you'll get a blue back in your hand.
Exactly. So you will get you're able to essentially use a card in Arsenal for like prevent 3 and the Kasaya, so 4, and you're on AB3. So you're definitely able to utilize it immediately, essentially. Okay, so that being said, let's these transcends are already in the 60 on the right here, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's move the transcends over here, as beautiful as they are. We'll do a little shuffling, and so we're gonna do one hand. We're gonna do like an opening hand, right? We're going first. Let's say we're going first. Do you prefer first or second in this matchup?
I think with AB3 you're supposed to go second, from what I've been told. I think.
Okay.
Because yeah, you're supposed to go second if you have AB3, because if you have lower AB, Kano going first gets to put through a lot of damage. Otherwise, not really.
Sure. Let's pretend we won, and we chose to go second. A lot of the time, Kano probably won't throw anything at you. They'll probably either play an E-Pod, Arsenal Pass, or try to Kano like a potion off the top, like Deja Vu or Epod or something like that. So let's assume that happened and we're going second with this hand, right?
Sure.
We have for all the viewers here, a red spinning wheel kick, bonds, red, blue wind chakra, and mauling, chi key, whatever you want to call it. What do I do with this hand? I'm going second. They have an
Um,
arsenal card. Nope, no potion. Pretend they missed. There's no potion on their side.
yeah, so you probably want to just like clear your hand, get a good card into your arsenal. So we can't do the thing I want to do the most, which is put a transcend card in our arsenal. So we're
Sure.
gonna try to dig as many cards as we can to be able to do that. Plus bonds is already a very very good card.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal here is to probably just spinning wheel kick into Mauling Chi,
Sure. Pitching the blue.
pitching the Wind Chakra, leaving a resource up because don't want to go fully shields down here. Can't really afford to.
Sure.
Um, and I don't want a needle because the big purpose of the needle is more like a winter's bite effect. You want to use it for grasping tempo, or
Mm-hmm.
like if they've already blocked a bunch, you can kind of just throw it because they're probably not going to be able to blow it up. But yeah, your goal is to use it in spots where it's like advantageous to either gain the tempo so they can't kill you, or to just like get free damage through because it's so efficient.
Yeah, that's fair. And so in this particular case, we have this. This is 4/4. So let's say block three, block three. They take two. Pretty common what they're gonna do. They're not throwing anything back at you. They still have their arsenal and two cards. So I'm just
Well,
painting
they
a
would take
picture just
three,
for
right?
everybody.
Because it's Malinchi, it's five.
True. Okay, let's say they're block two. So they fully block and take one off the spinning wheel kick. So they have
Sure.
one card in hand, one in arsenal. A lot of Kanos, they're not going to go off without any potion. They can't kill you that fast without anything to actually, you know, fund that turn. So we have bonds in the arsenal. Their turn, they have one card in hand.
Probably a pot.
Epot pass. So now they have an Epot on the field. I'm just painting this picture. They still have a card in arsenal. Could be like a blazing. Could be a wildfire if they're pretty lucky about it. But that's essentially the situation. So they're at 28 and we're still at 40. We draw. Whoa, this magical transcend card. I wonder where that came from. This is actually a pretty good hand. So what do you do with this?
um, here I would probably start by playing the Gust Wave, pitching the Ancestral Harmony.
Okay.
Um,
Why
to
do you
get two
why are
both.
we starting at the plus? Is it because you want to transcend, or why are we starting with the blue plus wave?
I want to put the Transcend card in my arsenal.
Okay.
So I kind of want to just clear the rest of my hand. Do a pretty decent turn because we have the bonds from the last
Yep.
turn.
Yep.
So like we already have access to that. This Tiger Swipe isn't very good unless we're tutoring with Zen, so it's like just okay.
Sure.
But we also have the option of if they ever go off or try to go off in the middle of this turn, we
Mm-hmm.
have the Transcend card in our hand to pump us up a resource,
Yep.
and then also we can make a Zen state if it calls for it.
Yeah, which is really interesting because like people used to hate starting with like blue gust wave and stuff like that and like Katsu, but here it's actually really good because you have the target to transcend, and it is quite good because you're instant speed and reaction fit. Well, it's just an instant in general, so you get to match their speed here. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna probably bonds after this.
Yep.
So let's
We're gonna bonds the
bonds.
spinning wheel kick so that we can clear this Tiger Swipe out of our hand.
Yep, makes sense. So I'll grab a spinning wheel kick.
So they're probably gonna block the bonds for three, unless they plan to go off. If they plan to go off,
Not
it
yet.
changes it, of course. But
They're,
it takes Kano a little bit of chipping to get through. 40,
yeah,
40 through AB3 is a lot.
it's a lot. Like you'd have to be on AB0 or AB1 or something like that, and have an EPOD, then maybe they can do it.
Yeah, because AB3, especially in a deck that's like so blue dense, is like quite hard to just like 40 you
Yeah,
like.
that's fair. And then we're gonna probably spinning wheel, and then we're gonna tiger swipe. Where's my tiger swipe?
Yeah.
Tiger swipe, and then pass, and then you still have the one floating,
Yeah.
in case they do anything. So that's kind of the early game. So I wanna skip a little bit later into the game here. So that's kind of an example of trying to get to that game state you want and have that transcend card in your arsenal. So now all of this is in the grave. We updated the life totals. We are another 2 turns into the game, so we're on turn 4 essentially. Kano's life total is 10, our own is 30. We still have kept this path well traveled in the arsenal. and we have our new hand here. And so, what are we doing on? They have 2 energy potions now, so they've essentially been blocking. We get chip damage. They're trying to set up to like kill us through our AB3, which is obviously going to take a lot of resources on their hand. So they have 2 epots. They still have a card in arsenal. Tunic on 3, something like along those lines. What do we do with this hand? I see an Art of War.
This hand is quite good.
Blood is in my eyes here. We have Wind Shocker too. Hold on, we could just literally make a Tiger and Art of War. Oh wow, this is gonna be nuts.
Yeah, this hand is really really good. So what I would do here is I'd start with the Wind Chakra and
Yes.
holding priority because you have to if you want to get the additional bonus for Wind Chakra. I would play Preserve Tradition, and then they would have to decide if seeing 2 blues come out of my hand is like good enough for them, and if it is, then like we might eat it. The problem with this hand specific with this arsenal specifically is you can only target an attack.
Yeah.
Um,
So you have no target.
so our little shield's down here,
Mm-hmm.
but we still have 3 resources in hand, so like probably not going to get 30'd, but it's still very possible.
Is very possible. So
and if they go for it, we probably kill them if they don't kill us.
Right. So the line essentially, if they don't kill us, for anyone wondering, your preserved tradition. Let's transcend it. Let's get our resource on for Kasaya.
Yeah.
Kasaya, we got the 1. So what do you want to do now?
I'd put the 100 wins on the chain.
Why are we starting with the 100 wins? And then why do we not Zen immediately?
We're not setting immediately because we have path well traveled specifically. Otherwise, we could wait. But because we have path well traveled and we're gonna Art of War, we want to make sure that they like know we still have a blue in hand. No, we have an unknown arsenal, and then we just get it like Art of War a little more safely. Especially because we have the path well traveled, we can gain 4 resources at instant speed.
Yeah. So what Nghia is referring to essentially is you need to play this because then once you actually want to get the Tiger to use for Art of War, you now have lost one of your blues. But the fact is now we have a target for 100 wins. So in response, if they instant, we can still get a blue off of this because Path Well Traveled is an instant. And so you're going to be able to do that. And then we've played a blue and we have a target. So that's the reason. So ordering is actually very, very important. So keep that in mind, especially when playing with Kanos. Like you have instants also, but even if you have AB3, you do have to be wary about when you have your resources. So that's a little bit about Kano here. We're going to move to the next matchup, which is going to be new. We have the sideboard in front of us because obviously we have a different sideboard. We just talked a little bit about Kano here. So we're going back to the Kakara, whatever, I don't know, and kind of a regular equipment suite. We have the Traverse, we have the Stride. What's on the left here is what we're going to be siding out on the matchup. So with the 2 red Harmony of the Hunts, red Kia Leashed, 3 levels because we don't want New to use levels against us. And what we're siding in here is triple Snag and triple Warmongers. Now, Snag into New is very good. It's literally the only purpose for this card. And without it, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. So definitely recommend it if you're expecting a lot of news. So we've already sided this particular 60 that we have on our right here. So we can take out these cards. I assume I can just delete these.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Okay. So same kind of idea. What's your strategy into New?
My strategy into New is a little bit of hope and prayer, but also at the same time, just try to explode them and then like as soon as possible, and then be able to close the game out from there. It's a little harder because their disruption is a lot. They have a lot of it, and a lot of it, it has to deal with your hand. So it's a little hard. So the games in which I win the most into News are when I'm able to have a very explosive, big, massive turn early, and then like slowly close out the game from there.
Sure. Okay. So let's draw this opening hand. Do you like to go first or second?
I like to go second into New.
I'm shocked. Okay. We lost the roll. We're going first. What do we do with this hand? E-Strike, Aspect, drop in the ocean. So we got an early Transcend, which is quite nice, and Bonds.
So we got an early Transcend. We don't have a way to currently do it.
We do not.
So
average Zen hand.
Here I'd probably, if it's turn 0, try to put a good card into my graveyard. which would probably be the aspect of Tiger body.
Okay.
So I would probably go E strike with go again, bottoming the bonds
Bottom
into
bonds.
body.
All
And
right.
so this still presents 8, so it still gets 3 of their cards, so their filtering's a little bad. And then additionally, because they're a Mystic hero, there's the off chance you just catch them with no
Their
blocks.
their pants down. They're
Yeah, yeah, with their
exactly. So they block with 3 cards. They have a just a nick left. Let's make it spicy. So they have just a nick left, and then they're drawing into a new hand. So let's see what our next 4 cards are here. Okay. So what they're going to do is they're going to present. They're going to pitch a blue, attack with Mistblade. What do we do against the Mistblade?
They're
Usually
probably
they
just not
start.
gonna block it.
Usually they start with Mistblade, is what I've seen.
Yeah, you usually want to start with Mistblade into Spider's Bite so you don't mess up the blocking reduction.
Sure. So that's what they're doing here. They pitch a blue, they go Mistblade, they go Spider's Bite. We don't block either.
No,
Yeah, this hand.
not with a hand like this.
This
This hand,
hand
one
is.
doesn't block very well, and then it's also just like a pretty good hand.
Yeah, it's a good thing we have that body in graveyard.
Yes.
Very, very good. So they do that, and then with their last 2, they surgical extraction us for 5 go again. Because of the Mistblade.
That's not great.
No, it's not. But like, it's the card they have. So 2 blues, dagger, surgical. They have 1 card left in hand because, they've only used 3 so far. They've pitched 2 blues and played a surgical, so they've 1 in hand.
Sure.
For 5.
At this point, I'd probably just put 5 in front of it. Oh, I guess I can't put 5 in front of it. I'm under Spider's Bite.
You're under Spider's Bite.
Yeah.
Unless you give him armor.
I don't think I would give them armor this early. I think a really important thing in this matchup is like knowing when to cash in your armor, and I don't think
Sure.
it's particularly obvious a lot of the time because of just like how much disruption they have.
Makes sense.
So here, we might just have to concede the fact that they're going to take a card from our hand and hope that the follow up isn't something like a leave no witness because it has go again. So if we take 5. They're gonna get a good card from us no matter what, but we also still get left with a very functional hand no matter what they leave us with.
True. So in this case, I think most of them are taking Art of War from you. I imagine it'd be pretty hard to not take Art of War from you here. So let's put they don't get a silver because it's not a blue. However, taking Art of War is pretty good. I heard. They pass.
They would also get our top card, which should be.
Oh, so they do get a silver. Never mind. So they have 1 silver. They have 1 silver. We've taken 5. We're at 33. They're still at 40. They arsenal their last card. It's our turn. What are we doing with this hand?
So here we would start with probably the 100 wins coming
100
in
wins blue.
for 1.
Why 100 wins? Well, I know why 100 wins because you need a target.
it's the only starter we have because we have drop in the ocean. So well, we're gonna play the only start to our hand, right?
So they don't block. Obviously, it's pretty unlikely they block a card for 1. So
yeah,
we're gonna go drop in the ocean. Goes to 0. We're gonna transcend.
Yeah. Now keep in mind you can play this after the damage has been dealt, before the attack finishes resolving.
Yes, that is correct.
It's an important thing that you can do with a lot of these cards because you don't. Let's say you have to transcend on their turn, you don't want to give +1 or go again. You can just. Well, go again will always work, but the others.
Go again's fine. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's still coming in for 1. We're going to transcend. We're going to get the Kasaya. So we're going to get that 1 right here. Get that to the hand. Now what are we doing? They declare no reaction.
Yeah, we're gonna activate Zen here.
So they're taking the 1. We're gonna activate Zen. We're gonna pitch the Chi. We're gonna get a Tiger. And then what are we looking for?
We're gonna go searching. So with this hand, it's interesting because our graveyard isn't very full because it's so early in the game. So
Yes.
I'd be inclined to arsenal this bonds, which means I would go grab something that would be good.
We can close the chain here, right? So we have the blue 100 wins if that helps.
Well, I don't think we're gonna grab 100 wins.
No, but
I'd be inclined to grab something like Mauling Chi. Yeah.
Mauling Chi. Yeah, it's just an example that closing the chain can be powerful to get targets in your grave.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
if you're not under bonds, if you're not going for bonds line, you don't have to keep that chain open for bonds to be. You know what I mean? Like that's something that
That's true.
when you're first starting Zen, it's not immediately obvious. So we're gonna grab Mauling Chi here. Gonna shuffle it up. So we have one floating. Now what are we doing here?
We're gonna hit them with the stick. Gonna come in for 2.
What are we pitching?
We're gonna pitch the stir the pot.
Why
We're
did
not gonna
you?
play this stir the pot
Yes.
because
So why did you not play it?
so they play Bonds of Agony,
Okay.
and that card can grab multiple cheese at once if it
Ah.
hits us. Additionally, you're allowed to deny the resource from Kasaya. So
Okay.
if you play, if you want to transcend and get the extra card in your deck, you can. But at this point, because it's so early, I'm okay with having one less chi in my deck just to play around the Bonds of Agony.
It's true. Bonsai Agony is the one that can look through your deck and grab same name cards. So it's quite good to insulate yourself by not just transcending, because you only need one for traverse. Like you only need the one chi for traverse. We already have one, so it's kind of nice. So we're gonna pitch. We're gonna Kakara. They block for 3, so they're not
Yep.
taking anything from that one. Now what are we doing?
We're gonna play the Crouching Tiger. It's gonna come in for 2 because we've played the 100 wins.
That is correct. So
Because of
Shuko.
Shuko.
They are going to not block this, so they're gonna take 2 here.
Yeah. So they take 2, and then would probably come in with the Mauling Chi. Comes in for 5 on hit 1. I know some people aren't on this card. I think they should be. I think this card is very good. It stitches together a lot of turns. It's a good search target with bonds when you have one resource left and you need a chain under. I think it's just very good overall. It's at worst like
Good
a
rate.
2-card 7.
Yeah, I mean it's good rate. They block with 2 cards for 6.
Sure. We just Arsenal pass.
Okay. And on their turn, they I don't know what they do. I was imagining they had like just a Nick and they like Bonds of Agony, but they don't have the triple react, so probably not. But that's fine. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit in this game, this imaginary game of ours. I don't think this Bonds would still be here, to be honest with you.
No, not at
So
all.
let's fast forward. So they're gonna be. So we're gonna edit this out. Okay, so we're in the kind of mid to later in the game here. We have about 32 cards in the deck. They've hit some banished, pretty common. We still have our equipment, and we have a snag in Arsenal. Now, obviously, this is our tech card for this matchup. Quite nice to have in Arsenal and wait for something like a Justin Nick or something like that to really do like maximum value. If they do multiple reactions, that's fantastic. But you can't be too greedy with this kind of thing, especially if it's like a relevant on hit, right? So this is our hand. It's quite a nice hand. However, it is something to note that in our graveyard, you'll see that we have 2 red bonds and 1 blue bonds in the graveyard. And in the banish, we have a blue bonds, right? So that is something to note for everyone for that game state. And in a hand, we have Homage, we have Grain Tips Scale, we have Gust Wave, and we have Bonds. What are we doing? They have full equipment. They have 2 less armor. They've blocked twice, essentially. They have Arsenal and 4 cards in hand.
Sure. So here it's a little awkward because of exactly the 2 cards, the transcend cards we drew.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have Snag and Arsenal.
We have Snag and Arsenal. Now, I will add, let's say there was an opportunity to block on one of their hands. Would have you used Traverse or Stride of Reprisal?
Um, it's contextual based off of the fact that my goal in a lot of these matchups when I'm playing Traverse and Strides in which is basically every matchup except for Kano, is you want to use it when you have an anthem. So one of the things that buffs your board, so Art of War, Ancestral Harmony, because those are the massive turns that you're looking for, and Strides helps you facilitate that by being a card you can banish to Art of War, and Traverse gets you an extra card, which is a cheat, which is the best card in your deck.
Sure. That makes sense. Okay. So knowing that, what are we doing here?
Likely I probably would have transcended on their turn using both of these.
Okay, that's fair. So let's say you targeted one of their attacks that's already resolved, they didn't break the chain, something like that. So gain a life. It's kind of nice. Technically, I guess you'd gain resources, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is our hand now.
Yeah, so here I'd probably just start off with the Gust Wave. We save our Zen Tutor for later because the less information you give your opponent and the less heads up you are, just the better in general. The less information your opponent has, better for
Sure.
you.
Makes sense. Okay. Descendant, Gust Wave, block for 3.
Sure. We're gonna come in with the bonds.
Coming with the bonds. What are we grabbing?
We're going to grab. I think we saw Chase the Tail, right? Yeah, I would grab Chase the Tail. So you could double bonds here, but in this particular instance, we are out of them. So it's not a line that we have access to anymore.
I've made it interesting by randomly discarding stuff. Okay. So I've grabbed Chase the Tail off the bonds. They block for 3, take 1.
Now I'd activate Zen.
Pitching, activating Zen, getting a Tiger. What are we grabbing?
We're grabbing Aspect of Tiger Body.
Now, why are we doing this?
So, really good play that you can do with bonds plus these 2 cards in Banish is you get to make an extra Tiger from the Aspect of Tiger Body because it combos with a red card, gets go again, makes a Tiger in your Banish. You get a Tiger off of Searching with Zen, so that's already the 2 Tigers you need for Chase the Tail, which is like quite good in general and like a very, very common line that's taken in Zen.
That makes sense. Okay. Probably gonna create my Tiger here. I don't need to play the Chase because I've already played red cards. Sometimes you haven't played a red card, so you need to play the Chase and the Aspect, get the Tiger, etc., etc. In this case, you don't have to do that. I can just do this, get another that, and then This is essentially the
So this would be 4 and 4 more because of Shuko.
correct. Because if we played the first Scratchy Tiger, so it's always nice to get a lot of value off your Shuko. So this is kind of a nice bread and butter cookie line. Bread and butter cookie? Well, now I want a butter cookie. But the point is this is a very cookie cutter line from Zen and why these cards are very powerful. So we are going to move on to the next matchup here. Here we're going to be doing one of the illusionists, specifically Prism, as that has been found to be, at least Prism players think so, pretty favored into Zen. Not obviously not unwinnable for Zen. Nothing's unwinnable for Zen. But relatively favored compared to, I say, Enigma into Zen here. So we're going to look specifically at Prism. Sideboarding, we're going to be siding out this Retchi Unleashed, the 2 Harmonies, and we're going to put in our tech card for Prism, which is Blanche. It's not just for Prism. Actually, it is just for Prism, isn't it?
I exclusively side them into Prism.
Yeah. It is a Super Popper. By Super Popper means it's 7 power, so it can get around Judgment, stuff like that. Not Reprimand, obviously, but Judgment, that's good enough. And we side in these cards because they are not particularly helpful. All right. Yeah. So in Prism, what's your game plan?
They start at 32 life. That's already 8 damage, right? So my goal is to hit them as hard as possible because those heralds coming back, they hurt. And so the less cards that I can allow them to keep, the better it is for me because at one point I have exactly enough armor to block a herald.
That's right.
And blocking 1 herald could deny them the search for the angel they need, plus the soul they might need to be able to flip angels.
Right, and it's nice because this covers literally any herald. Doesn't matter what color it is, so that's cool. We're going to go second here. We won the roll, we chose second.
Yep.
We draw our 4. Sick memes. They are going to start with a pitch a yellow, red judgment for 7. Sorry, triumph, not judgment. Red triumph for 7. So triumph is the one that minuses 1. I think Prisms will definitely do this because it's pretty unlikely that you have a Super Popper in your opening hand. And so getting a free, taking 3 cards and or having the ability to get something out turn 1 of the Figments is very, very powerful. So it's a pretty reasonable play on Prism side. We're gonna
send it to the graveyard.
We're going to send it to the Shadow Realm here. They are going to pass, and they are going to arsenal a card. Would you like to do anything before they pass?
Nope, we're good. Additionally, the good part about Blanche is it has a relevant on-hit in the matchup.
It does. They lose colors, and guess what color they need? They need yellow for the weapon. So Very, very nice card. So we drew a Mauling Chi here. Mauling Key. God, I'm doing it properly, and I
I'm pretty
don't
sure
like
it's
the
chi.
fact it is Chi, but they say Key
Yeah.
because they have Chi in the thing. But anyways, that's whatever. Because they would have spelt it differently. Anyways, I'm gonna do that every video. So we have Preserved Tradition, which is kind of nice. So I'm actually opening quite well for Zen here. The last couple of games, Descendant, Gust Wave, Levels, Preserve, and Mauling Key. What do you wanna do?
So usually you probably want to go down like the bonds route, but it's our turn one. We don't have anything to bonds with.
We don't have
So what
anything to
I
bonds with.
would do here is I would play the levels of enlightenment, pitching the descending gust wave, and holding priority before it resolves and I choose modes. I'm gonna preserve tradition.
Okay, can you explain why you did that?
So I'm gonna do this because I wanted to be able to transcend, and then I'm going to activate Zen so that when levels of enlightenment resolves, I'm going to have two blues in my pitch zone, allowing me to choose two of the modes rather than just one.
Yes, this is essentially doing all this in the layer step because when this attacks, you are in you are one step. You will have had to choose mode during that. So if you do it in the layer step before this resolves, you're allowed to in instant speed react, like respond to it, and then Zen, and then you have two blues. Essentially, is the more technical. And preserve tradition. I guess you're literally this Blanche to the bottom, right? I think it's to the bottom.
Yep.
I didn't actually read it. So we've done that, and now we're going to pitch to Zen to get our second blue before levels resolves. What are we looking for?
We'll go up to three resources because of
For
the
the Kasaya.
Kasaya.
What are we looking for here?
So here, because we're gonna get a tiger, and we're gonna have one
Yes.
random card plus this.
Yes.
I'm probably going to grab a for this turn specifically. I'm gonna grab 100 wins
Why
because we
100
already have a
wins?
one cost, and we already want to be able to use Kakara. So, and then we're gonna have one random card from the draw. So I want to be able to, if I draw one cost, be able to still Arsenal, and not like be
Yes.
super sad.
Yes, because we still have three, and so we really only have. We can either use two for Kakara, or if we have like another, like if we have a something that like a spinning wheel, we could like Arsenal the spinning wheel or something like that. So that's what's gonna happen. So this is coming in for three. Go again, draw a card. So we're going to draw a card. Wow, I'm just psychic.
Would
I
you look at
guess.
that?
Didn't know that was gonna pop up. So levels is gonna be taken. So they're gonna take the three. Prism is generally gonna use their life quite liberally in this matchup because they need to send back damage and get board state before they just get overrun. So what are we gonna do now?
Um, we're gonna hit them with the 100 wins.
Hit
Give
him with
them
100
again
wins.
as little information as possible. They already know about this, so we're gonna just send it their way,
They take three.
and we're gonna stick them. Hit them with the two. Gonna
If
buff our
they took
next
if
tiger.
they took three, they're taking two.
All right, we're gonna send in for one with the tiger,
Taking one.
and we're gonna send in the mauling chi for 5 on hit one.
There we go. They're taking the six. The six total.
See, a thing about this matchup is if they're wanting to have their really big turns,
Mm-hmm.
they're taking a lot of damage, and they already started at 32. So like, if you can see, they're already like quite low.
That's fair.
Like they're at 17. So if it's something that they decide that they want to take the damage, they're not gonna have many turns to play this game.
Okay, I'm just a god, so maybe we'll just skip this.
Additional, additionally, we have a chi in our deck, so we can now pivot at any time we draw an anthem, which we did.
That's yeah. This is us. This is a very good start for me. So they're gonna pitch and they're going to erudition. That seems like a pretty reasonable kind of like way to keep a hand. So they're gonna pitch a yellow and they're gonna erudition from Arsenal. So they still have three cards in hand.
We're gonna show them our equipment.
You're gonna show them the equipment.
Yeah, we're
Which
gonna show
one?
them the equipment, all of them.
Why are
Because
you?
the buff comes in for 2, right? Or does it come in for 3?
The blue wrath comes in for two.
The blue wrath, but they're playing the yellow, I believe now. So, um, you can either choose to play around the blue one, or if you think they're just like straight on the yellow ones, I would probably block, uh, like so with these.
Okay, So we're blocking 5 here. Is there a reason you don't want to blanch?
If they have a follow-up angel, I'll just be able to pop it.
That's fair.
Additionally, I want, like, if they don't have a very good follow-up because this doesn't hit, I want to be able to cash in my equipment on the first one.
That's fair. Okay. So we have
Yeah.
5. So we're blocking for the full 5 here. They have the, and then we're gonna get a tiger, obviously.
And the chi from our deck.
And the chi from the deck. Wait, I can't just literally search chi. I have to like. What is it called? Oh, it's called Aner Chi. Okay, that's probably why.
Additionally, a play that you can make if you really want to is you can block like this. So that you still get your tutor plus you get to pop it.
Yeah.
And it covers the 5 also if somehow they have like double debuff on the blanch. So this is also a very, very good block.
They do have 3 cards in hand, so I actually like this quite a bit because it's possible they just have like a pump and another angel. Oh, sorry, another herald. So this allows you to get around both of those scenarios because it's quite possible if they're taking all that damage, they must have like at the very least a double pump because at the very least a two herald plus pump kind of strategy because they really do need to get a figment online and like an erudition or something flip and hit us with try to get cards. So we do this. It gets popped. They're not going to buff it obviously if it's already getting popped. So they then send in a triumph, a red triumph. So they pitch a blue or whatever in triumph. So they have 1 card in hand and they're hitting us for 7. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna take 7.
We're gonna take 7.
We've already committed to having our big pop off, our pivot turn.
Mm-hmm.
So we're good to just tell them to send the bill. We're gonna take it.
Makes sense. Okay, and then they have 1 card left, and they essentially they'll grab a figment. It doesn't really matter which figment it is and pass. What do we do with this hand?
So with this hand,
they still have. I will note for the viewers, they do have Halo Illumination on the board, which could be awkward for us. So let's make sure to try to play around that if we can.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, I would start by pitching the chi to grab Descendant.
Pitching the chi to grab Descendant off the Zen.
So you could Art of War first, but if they have an Arclight Sentinel, you'll get caught losing your Art of War. And I'd rather lose my chi to tutor the Descendant for this turn rather than losing my Art of War.
That's fair. They will. Let's say. Do you think they would Halo this and like flip it?
It's interesting because it costs them a card to do that.
Yes, it costs them a card to do that.
They know that we cashed in the boots and the hat, so it's not unlikely that we have a buff. If they want to do it, it's not a bad target at all for them.
Okay. Let's assume,
but it will leave them open to quite a large hit.
Let's assume they flip.
Sure.
And they take this. Now what do we do? So now they have 3 cards in hand. They have 3 cards in hand.
Yep. We're gonna Jade Tiger Domain. Pitching Jade Tiger Domain to play Art of War. So we can banish a tiger, or we can banish the bonds. At this point, I think the banishing the tiger is probably like it's very close because we have the Chase the Tail in our arsenal, but the upside of having bonds in our hand is quite good.
Yeah, because we do have Mauling Chi, we have 100. We do have targets in grave now, so grabbing a bonds would be good. So let's draw 2 cards. We have banished one of our crouching tigers.
We're the best player ever.
We just draw it, I guess, is how life works. So we have the Descendant Gustwave. What are we gonna do now?
I mean, we're gonna play the Gustwave.
We're gonna play the Gustwave. It's coming in for 2. They take it. Now what?
We're gonna play the bonds.
Coming in for 3. They block for 3.
We are going to. Oh, we have to use our bonds, right?
We do have to use the bonds.
Probably gonna grab a Mauling Chi here.
Mulling Chi.
Oh, sorry.
Mulling Chi. Okay. Now what?
Then we're going to
Probably
hit him with the stick.
Probably actually get the Mulling Chi from my deck. Hit them with a stick. Pitching Chakra?
Pitching the wind chakra, yeah. Can't pitch the tiger.
Floating. I mean, that'd be great. They take 2 here. Now what?
Then we're gonna come in with the tiger coming in for. So this came in for 4 because of Shuko.
True. There we go.
And so this is gonna come in for 2.
Yep. Take 2.
We're gonna send in the chase the tail, cashing it in, coming in for 5. Gains go again. We'll lose the value on the buff on the next thing, but our goal at this point is to put him as low as possible, and this will do that. And then 6.
This is pretty good because you got 6, 5, 1,
2.
Sorry, 2 Kakara, another 2, 4, with another 2. So it's pretty fat. Pretty nice turn here, considering they took our red Gust Wave. So that is a little bit about the Prism matchup, kind of what you want to look towards, what they might be doing against you, what you should kind of consider as far as blocks. The Blanche block is probably something that I would consider, something you want to keep in mind in. Let's do one more matchup. Okay, so the last matchup we're going to kind of do this process for is Azalea. Another quite popular deck in the meta here. So on the left here, siding out Kakara, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We have this Key Unleashed to Harmony of the Hunts, and we're siding in this the Big Daddy, Warmonger's Diplomacy. Bolton looks super angry. So we're going to be siding those in because Azalea doesn't like this card for some odd reason. I can't imagine why.
Time Walk is pretty good.
Tell me a little bit about the Zephyr Needles very quickly. Why are we running it here?
The needles in the aggro mirror are just like absolutely insane because they just give you tempo back, or they're just insane numbers, and you also get to weave them when you either have 1 or 2 resources floating. So in the aggro mirror, like this matchup for example, or the mirror, you don't really want to be blocking their stuff because that's kind of detrimental to your game plan, especially for Zen, because you're an exponential deck. The more cards you get to keep, the better it is for you. So if they're blocking, you're doing something good. And then they're just good math. 4 for 2 resources on your turn is like quite good.
Yeah, I mean, Anothos is the base, and that's a 3 for 4, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. They won the roll. They're going first. How do you feel about that?
I think that it's really close, but I would favor, as the Azalea player, going first because you have the opportunity to go first and second if you hit the red in the ledger, which is like not super common, but it's also not uncommon.
Yep, that's fair. So they won the roll. They're going first. I don't know how many hands. I'm just gonna always draw a Transcend opening hand. It's pretty great.
I mean, to be fair, in the first 3 turns you are, I think, like 90-something% to see one.
It's true. Talish are only luck, but unfortunately, Azalea shows me the card. Knock the Death Whistle. Plays Knock the Death Whistle. Finds riddle me that red in the ledger. Has a pump. So they're coming in for red in the ledger for 8 dominate, Blood Rod on hit.
Blood Rod on it. Damn, they're so good. I'm gonna block with the Tiger Swipe. And yeah, we're gonna take 5. We can't afford to give armor this early. It's just not in our best interest. We'll take the 1 turn off and we'll do our thing.
And pretend there's a Blood Rod somewhere.
Just like at Nationals.
There we go. Just like at Nationals. Exactly. Okay, so we're gonna draw. Well, will you look at that? So we could do exactly one thing. Well, technically, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna blue 100 wins.
I wonder why. We're gonna blue 100 wins. And then they say no block.
We're gonna play Rising Sun, Setting Moon, We get a draw card. And then we're going to bottom the Tiger Swipe.
Why Tiger Swipe?
So, because we drew another blue, to pay for, like, the Blood Rot, I want to have a blue starter in addition to, like, just in addition to my next turn. So,
Sure.
I'm gonna try to arsenal this 100 wins, go to my next turn, and then we're gonna use the chi to pay for the Blood Rot. Because
Sure.
we want one chi in our deck. Guaranteed.
Makes sense. So Blood Rot, we're going to pitch the chi. And then you want to arsenal the 100 wins.
I'm going to arsenal the 100 wins.
Sounds good. Azalea has no arsenal because obviously they knock around the ledger, so they shouldn't, unless they had a premeditate, which would be even sicker. They do not have an arsenal. That would be gross. So they only have a 4-card hand, take up their tunic, and they are going to hit us with Remorseless. We're going to buff it twice, so we had a yellow, use one Death Dealer, draw a buff, use the other floating to use our last 2 cards, pump Remorseless. So pump Remorseless. It's going to be coming in for 11. It's going to be Inertia on hit and Ponder on hit. What are we doing?
Whew.
I know. Battle of the Fittest.
We're probably going to spend our turn blocking. Because
why are we blocking?
We need to conserve some life to be able to have our big turns. Because without having a life buffer, you can't have a big turn. And our hand isn't particularly amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is we're going to block for 9 using Ancestral Harmony, Levels of Enlightenment, and Chase the Tail.
Yep.
The 100 wins only blocks for 2, and we're going to be able to send it for 4 on our next turn. So
makes sense. So we're going to
two.
Put this. We're taking 2. They get a Ponder. We get an Inertia. That's whatever. We can use an Inertia. And then our turn is just 100 wins, 100 wins.
Yep. So we're going to take 2 more, but we're gonna send them back 5.
Take 2.
It isn't particularly exciting, but sometimes that's just how this matchup goes.
We're also under Inertia, so we got to play the Arsenal one anyways.
Yeah.
Choice. So they're not blocking that. That's just they just scoff a little bit. And they say scrub, and then we're gonna drop, and then we're gonna send. They're gonna be sending a Bolton Shot for 7 go again. So buff Bolton Shot. It's probably like some random +3 vanilla buff. So this is 7 vanilla go again.
I think we're good to not respect the first one. We're gonna take 7.
Take 7. They reload, pitch, and hit us with a Sleep Dart.
Sure. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna block with E-Strike and Wind Chakra. Block for 6.
Yep. Take nothing.
No, we're gonna block with the Ancestral Harmony and the Wind Chakra because we are going to play this Warmonger's Diplomacy, and we're not gonna throw the game.
That would be ideal. So essentially, at this point, we're gonna do this. We're gonna throw the Warmongers, arsenal the E-Strike.
They're gonna name war. We're gonna name war.
It's gonna be a fun time. Let's skip ahead another couple turns. Let's go. Okay, so we're a little bit further in the game, another couple turns, and we've been just essentially throwing haymakers at each other. Nothing particularly crazy after that block. The Warmongers stifled a bit, but they have their new arm piece, so it didn't stop them too much. And now we're sitting at 3 with our equipment. What are we doing here with this hand?
Well, we probably would have blocked with our equipment on this past turn.
Sure. So they're attacking for whatever. Doesn't really matter. And after attacking with the equipment, we're going to 3 after these blocks. Let's assume we're blocking like this.
Yeah, that's a normal block because that's just a buff on an arrow. It's not unreasonable.
Exactly. Let's say it's like dominated or something along those lines. So
yeah, we also need to go chi from attack. Did we not make one earlier?
Might be thinking of a different game.
Oh no, we did. It's just called 1 today.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So what are we doing with this hand? How do we maximize? They have Arsenal. They still have their equipment. Other than they've blocked with long draw. But other than that, they still have Tunic, still have Head.
I mean, they have 2 of them.
Yes.
Here we're gonna pitch, drop in the ocean. Gonna come in with Descending Gust Wave. Come in for 3 go again.
Sure, they take it.
We're gonna activate Inner Chi.
Activate Zen.
Activate Zen, pitching the Inner Chi. Here, we are going to search for Bonds of Ancestry. Red, good card.
Some might say it's one of the best. Now what?
Then we're gonna play the Bonds. The Bonds, we're gonna grab a Tiger Swipe.
Tiger Swipe?
We should have a extra Tiger. Yeah, we're gonna grab a Tiger Swipe because we have 2 Tigers, one from the boots, one from Zen.
Sure, makes sense. Tiger Swipe.
And then we're gonna come in with the well, they have to deal with this 4 first. We're gonna come in with the Needle. The Needles.
Let's actually 1, 2. Oops. 1, 2. They block with a 3 block. Just an extra arrow on the Bonds.
Sure. We're gonna come in with the Needle. 2 go again. They're not really incentivized to block this. We're gonna show them the second Needle.
2.
We're gonna go in with a Tiger for 0.
No block.
Chase the Tail, pitching Homage, coming in for 4 go again.
This is casual lethal. I'm gonna give a Tunic and another card.
Sure. And then we're gonna kind of come into the Tiger for 3 go again, which is a casual lethal again.
Yep. Gonna block with a 3rd card.
And then we're gonna come in Tiger Swipe for 4. On hit, make 2 Tigers. The Tigers are irrelevant, but the relevant part is it's lethal again.
Yep. And they are going to give the last card to go to 2. And then at that point, it's a pretty close game. You're really just top decking each other. So it's really but you have the weapons, which is quite cool.
You have the Needles, and the Needles are presenting lethal every turn.
Yeah. That's the matchups we kind of wanted to give a bit of a taster on, and some of the lines you can play in this deck. I think some of them are definitely quite valuable, and then a lot of these lines do come up a lot. So I would say try to, at the very least, play a lot of reps to be comfortable with finding these lines and figuring out like what you can and can't do, judging by your grave in your deck and the point of time you are in the game. Any closing thoughts, Nghia, on anything we've talked about? Draw early transcends or die trying.
Yeah. Also, play Mauling Chi. Card good.
It is a TCC card, in case anyone is confused on where to get this card. So it's in the I didn't have one this game.
From the round the table.
Yeah, it's annoying because you only get 2 of them in the thing. So buy 2 with a friend, and then you get 1 place. No, you need to buy 3, and then both of you get 1 place at each, I guess.
Yep.
That's just life. So yeah, with that, appreciate your time, Nghia, coming on and letting everyone share in your runner-up knowledge with Zen this past event. With that, hope everyone enjoy the content. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And from wherever you're watching in the world, have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Bye for now.